Hey, Scarefest fans, this is Joe Lewis of Bonehead Weekly. I don't have a new release to review for you this week. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm showing off the man shag. In the 80s, nothing burned brighter than Steven Spielberg. And he decided to put his toes into TV and create his own Twilight Zone, for lack of a better way of putting it, called Amazing Stories. And I've never actually talked about Amazing Stories on here. I have both seasons. If you listen to Bonehead Weekly, we've had Mick Garris. Mick Garris, the director, actually got his start on Amazing Stories, but Steven Spielberg directed a few of them. Bob Zemeckis directed a few of them. That's Robert Zemeckis for you all who framed Roger Rabbit. A lot of different people directing. I mean, everybody from Burt Reynolds to Martin Scorsese directed episodes. It was a huge budget show for NBC, and it premiered in 85, and it did okay. And it kind of did this up until 86, 87. There's technically only 2 seasons, and the second season probably only got done because basically made them finish it out. And it's Spielberg. It was never as popular, but it has one of the best openings of TV I've ever I still love it and hear it. It's John Williams' score, and it's fantastic. You can hear it actually when you go to Universal Studios for some odd reason. They play it a lot. If you have Peacock, I think the first season's on there, and I know they did a reboot of it that's also on Apple TV. Honestly, I've never watched any of the reboot. I was a big fan. So we're going to go over a few of the episodes that I want you to check out. One of them is The Mission. The Mission is directed by Steven Spielberg, and it's about a World War II bomber that is about to drop a bomb, and they get hit, and unfortunately the wheels are gone, and the guy in the belly is still there, and he's not going to make it. It's a really good one. One of the scarier ones was directed by Robert Zemeckis, and it stars Christopher Lloyd, of course, and it's called Go to the Head of the Class. And it's about these 2 students who hate this teacher who is really cruel, and they want to get back at him. Unfortunately, they screw up a spell with him, and he ends up losing his head and coming after them. It's a fantastic episode. It freaked me out as a kid. I really recommend it. Another one actually that freaked me out as a kid that was directed by Martin Scorsese is Mirror Mirror. A popular horror novelist sees a strange figure in his bathroom mirror, and every time he looks, it kind of keeps coming back at him. And it's a little one of my favorites. Actually, isn't directed by anybody. Unfortunately, I don't mean anything of note, but it's called Mummy Daddy. Now, when I say mummy, I don't mean mommy. I mean mummy, like a mummy. This horror film is shooting outside of a little town, and this actor who's in a mummy costume playing the mummy is going to be a daddy, and that's awesome, right? But the problem is he gets the call, he goes, he wrecks, and people think he's a real mummy, and he gets chased. But also in this southern little town, they find a real mummy, and the real mummy, Ra Amun Ka, comes to life and comes after them. Which one's the mummy? Which one is the real mummy? Which one is the daddy? Which one is going to be the daddy? I know, I just like saying this over and over and over. There's a ton of these. I'm trying to think. I think even Joe Dante directed a few of them. Spielberg also directed one called Ghost Train, about a grandfather that knows a train is going to come through their new house, his son's new house that they've built. But I could go on and on. If you're a big fan of The Incredibles, the guy that directed The Incredibles, Brad Bird, his first claim to fame was The Family Dog, which actually spun off into a little series. And it was animated, and it was created by Brad Bird. So check that out on Peacock, or if you're nice to me, I might let you come over and watch some of them in my basement. Check out Amazing Stories. Go to YouTube and watch the opening of Amazing Stories. To this day, it is amazing. This has been Joe Lewis of Bonehead Weekly. Amazing Stories. Check it out. There's a few little horror things that you can introduce to kids with it.